we asked ourselves years ago, are there sort of lessons in the performance of organizations that are generalizable? As kind of an analogy, this is Will and Ariel Durant. They wrote the 10-volume History of Civilisations. How many of you have read it recently? Might have it on your iPads. So they wrote the History of Civilization, and after doing that, they kind of said, let's push away from all of these detailed studies of various ages in the history of the earth and ask, are there common lessons? Are there common lessons about the rise and fall of civilizations? And one of the comments they made was, I think, germane to the question that we asked 22 years ago and that brings us together also today. They said this: their observation is that the influence of geographic factors, now think about that for a moment from Durant's perspective. The influence of geographic factors diminishes as technology grows. So they saw through the millennia that where you were located was enormously important 2,000 years ago. So having access to other resources or limited competition or sort of a friendly weather system, that those were very consequential in the success of your civilization. But he says, as technology grows, that becomes less important. Is there an analogy for us in organizations? You know, it turns out that many factors become less important as technology grows and the world shrinks and things speed up. He says, only the imagination and initiative of leaders and the hardy industry of followers can, and I love this phrase, transform possibilities into fact. That's what you and I aspire to do every day. That's what our organizations are trying to do. Can we transform possibilities into fact? And only a similar combination can make a culture take form over 1,000 natural obstacles. What we're attempting to do in 100 different industries in this room is transform possibilities into facts over 1,000 natural obstacles. His conclusion, their conclusion, man, not the earth, makes civilization. People, not the earth, makes civilization. So if that's true, if the importance of technology or if the importance of geographic factors or industry factors or competitive factors or other things matter less and less over time, but human factors, our ability to engage in collective effort to transform possibility into fact, is something unique and different, then what predicts that? So we began studying 20 years ago what it takes to create a high-performance culture. And here's how we defined it. And again, we didn't know that the answer would be that something existed, but we wondered, are there organizations that are supremely capable not just of innovation, but also of execution? Most of us read a lot of literature that suggests you better pick between the two. If you're competing in a commodity industry, it's all about execution. If you're competing in high value-added services, then innovation is what it's at, but you're going to trade off some value in the capacity to execute predictably. But we wondered, are there organizations that do both, that walk and chew gum? And if so, is the combination of those two far more than just additive? Is the combination of the ability to innovate and execute, the capacity to produce results, to transform possibilities into facts, far in excess of any other type of human system? And if so, what are the differences between those? So to introduce a metaphor, we were asking, is it possible to not just focus on the apps? If you think about a software metaphor, a lot of us in human resources and organization development think that our organizations are idiosyncratic. So if we're a military organization, we need a culture of a specific kind. There's an app. We need people that have a tremendous respect for authority and chain of command, right? If we're in electronic products and consumer products, we need a lot of innovation. So maybe people that value autonomy more is more important in that kind of industry. So if you're in financial services or you're in hospitality services or you're in medical services, are there different apps you're going to need? Well, we didn't want to study that. We wondered, is there actually an operating system underneath that's common to all human systems? We like that metaphor because you'll notice today if you've got a laptop, it can have the same operating system basically as your mobile phone now. And in fact, the gas pump that you fuel at could have the same operating system. Your refrigerator could have the same operating system. So operating systems are different because they enable us to do apps. And we wanted to study operating systems, the things that improve our capacity to innovate, to execute, to be more stable as an organization, to be able to be more agile as well. So the operating system, if you think about it, it's fundamental to everything. It also controls how the applications access the basic hardware of your institution. Some are faster, some are more reliable, some are more stable, some are more flexible. But we wondered, what about human beings? So our work, those of us in this room, often focuses on the tip of the iceberg, the application level. Is there a unique strategy we need in our industry? Is there a unique structure, product, or process? So if I'm Danny Meyer, one of the determinants of success is going to be product. Do we have terrific product? At Gramercy Tavern, do we have absolutely fabulous food? Well, underneath that, though, are there common dimensions? Are there sort of common cultural operating system elements? Well, that's the question that started our work and that brings us all together today.